Hey folks, today we're going to tell you another great success story worth knowing, the story of Walmart. The story of Walmart is something out of this world. Seriously, it all started with a Ben Franklin book and a bunch of crazy ideas like selling ice cream on the sidewalk on Saturdays. Walmart, which made over $600 billion by 2023, is now the world's biggest employer with over 2 million employees. But look, it wasn't easy building this empire. Before we start, leave in the comments below if you've ever bought anything at a Walmart store. The founder, Sam Walton, was born in 1918 in Oklahoma. Being a farmer's son, life was anything but easy. His father was a farmer, but he wasn't doing too well financially. Hence, the family moved from state to state in search of better living conditions. Young Sam, back then, did a little bit of everything to help around the house and learned the value of hard work from his parents. But it wasn't just all work. At home, the atmosphere was really tense. Sam's parents argued constantly and he escaped into sports in the Boy Scouts. By the time they settled in Missouri, Sam was already a teenager. He had several small jobs and watched his father make every business worth it. His mother even started a very successful dairy business. Life at home was getting worse. Sam's father, Thomas, was hardly ever around. He traveled a lot to earn extra money, and this directly affected his marriage. Sam graduated high school in 1935 and went to Missouri University. There, he did all sorts of odd jobs to support himself, like delivering newspapers, waiting tables. After college, Sam got a job at J.C. Penney, but it didn't go very well. He was terrible with paperwork, and his boss even threatened to fire him. But Sam had a natural talent for sales that saved him. When World War II broke out in 1941, he enlisted in the Army, where he stood out for his leadership, where he rose to the rank of military captain stationed at Oklahoma in April 1942. That's where he met his future wife, Helene. After a short courtship, they were married on Valentine's Day, 1943. By the time the war ended in 1945, Sam Walton had a wife and child to take care of. So he decided to start his own business, borrowed $20,000 from his father-in-law and another $5,000 from his own savings, and bought a Ben Franklin store in Newport, Arkansas. Anyway, lots of small shops like that had gone bankrupt in the United States, and Sam's store was in trouble, losing money and paying high rent. But Sam didn't give up. He realized that the traditional rules of retail didn't make sense to him, so he decided to try something new. The store required him to buy products only from them, but he found a loophole in the contract and started buying cheaper elsewhere. He sold cheaper and made up for it in volume. It took about 10 years for him to see the potential of it all. Sam wasn't a genius, but he had a sharp business sense. His only goal was to make life easier for customers, and that attracted a lot of people. They were doing so well that he called his brother Bud to help. The owners of the Ben Franklin chain didn't like this at all, but they couldn't complain because Sam's sales skyrocketed. In 1 year, they increased by 45%, then $140,000, and in 3 years they were at $175,000. He paid off his father-in-law's loan and became one of the biggest in the business in and around Arkansas. But spoiler alert, the deal was doomed to fail. He rented his first store in 1945 and he believes forgot to include a lease renewal clause. Basic mistake, right? The father-in-law was even shocked, almost died of a heart attack. Sam had invested everything in the store and in the city of Newport, and he and his wife Ellen loved the place where 3 of their 4 children were born. In his autobiography, Sam says that it was the worst moment of his life to have to leave the city after so much success. But as we already know, he didn't give up. He went looking for a new store and found one in Bentonville, Arkansas. So he opened Walton 5 and Dime in 1950, signing a 99-year lease just to be safe. People in Bentonville doubted he'd last, but Sam proved them wrong. He offered consistently low prices, something new in the city. In the 50s, with the economy booming, Sam seized the moment. He discovered the concept of self-service in retail, where customers choose what they want and pay at the exit. This reduced his costs and tripled his income in less than a year. Less time fretting over whether the cash hit the account, more time making content my way. Creators by Husk created, cashed in, cashed out. With more cash, he opened more shops. By the end of the 1950s, he had 15 shops already. Sam sought more revenue, though. He had an idea to open superstores in small towns, flogging everything at a discount. It had been done before, but typically in smaller stores and only in big cities. Sam needed a lot of cash for that. He even tried convincing the Ben Franklin franchise, but they weren't having it. So he bet the farm, mortgaged his house, took out a loan, and opened the first Walmart in Rogers, Arkansas in 1962. And thus began the story of one of the biggest retail chains in the world. Lo and behold, customers loved Walmart because they didn't have to trek all the way to the city to find low prices. Stores were chock full and sales skyrocketed. Sam Walton was always learning from the competition and came up with ways to slash prices even further. He switched wooden shelves for metal ones, which were cheaper and longer lasting, and kept the stores open for longer hours than competitors. In addition, he offered free parking, which at the time was a big deal. Until 1969, Sam financed the growth of the company with profits and loans. In 1970, he decided to take the company public. The IPO generated $5 million, and the Walton family maintained 61% of the shares. With this money, Sam paid off debts and progressed with his ambitious plans. Between 1970 and 1980, Walmart exploded in growth, opening hundreds of stores. Sam believed that success came not only from low prices, but also from the work of his associates who he considered as partners. They received cash bonuses and stock options. Sam also bought directly from manufacturers by cutting out the middlemen and kept the stores close to warehouses for quick deliveries. By the end of the 70s, Walmart was already a major force in retail. The investor who bought Walmart stock in 1970 saw his investment rise by more than $700,000 by 1987. In 1983, Sam opened the first Sam's Club, another masterstroke that exists until today. By 1990, Walmart had more than 1,000 stores and 150,000 employees. Of course, there were people who criticized Sam for competing with smaller stores. He himself acknowledged that small stores were destined to shrink. Sam Walton passed away in 1992 at age 74. At the time, Walmart was making more than $104 billion a year. Now there are more than 10,500 stores and an annual investment of over $500 billion. So did you enjoy the story? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment if you've already shopped at Walmart. Remember, the next video that makes perfect sense for you to watch is appearing up here now. See you in the next video. See you later.